Combat sports has seen fighters falsifying records since its inception, but with social media and record logging at its peak, attempting such a stunt would be almost impossible in the modern era. Today, we look at a fighter who did just that, turning him from an intriguing prospect into one of the sport's biggest punchlines. Welcome to the INC, and this is the man who faked his way into the UFC. At the start of 2021, Askar Mozharov was another regional fighter looking for his big break. Mozharov made his MMA debut in 2014, having been a silver medalist at the World Muay Thai Federation National Championships, competing for promotions in Ukraine, Russia, and China, where he amassed 22 wins and 7 losses. While his record was nothing to write home about, Mozharov made up for it with his fighting style, with all but 2 of his matches ending in the first round and trademarked for his aggressive brawling. His flashiness, added with his copyright-infringing tattoos, led him to be dubbed the Ukrainian Conor McGregor by local media. 2019 saw Mozharov take his first steps in America, losing to Christian Torres at Titan FC before a successful run in bare-knuckle boxing. Mozharov was even briefly under contract with the PFL, only for his match with Jordan Young to be cancelled the day of the show due to medical reasons. With the UFC stocking up fighters due to the COVID-19 global pandemic, it wasn't long before the company took interest in Mozharov, signing the Ukrainian to a 4-fight contract with the aim of making his company debut in 2021. After matches with Ben Rothwell and Dustin Jacoby fell through, Mozharov was paired against Alonzo Menefield in June 2022. In the build to the fight, Mozharov's team contacted the MMA database SureDog in an attempt to remove some of his losses from his record. It opened up a can of worms that quickly ruined the fighter's reputation. During their fact-checking, SureDog uncovered a number of inconsistencies in Mozharov's record. It turned out the fighter was in fact born Arthur Shadakov, losing his first 3 fights before changing his name in a bid to clear his record. Mozharov would attempt the trick further times in his career, applying a 2-5 run in the middle of his career to the fictitious Artur Shadkov. Mozharov's team attempted to muddy the waters further by claiming several of his losses simply didn't exist. In 2022, SureDog were contacted by promoter Jormur Bangkonkong, claiming Mozharov hadn't competed at a Full Metal Dojo event in 2016. This despite Jormur Bangkonkong having never worked for the promotion and using a Russian email address, despite the promotion being based in Thailand. Some of Mozharov's deceptions proved more comical. For the span of several months, Mozharov's team targeted a 2016 defeat to Fan Wong for the Legend King Championship in China. Mozharov stated he never competed in the event, and Wong had instead fought 0-3 Hassan Atagayev. The accompanying fight poster used to plead his innocence was quickly dismissed as a forgery, and all attempts to erase the loss were quashed when footage emerged of Mozharov losing a fight he claimed he was never a part of. Mozharov used every trick in the book to boost his record, counting sparring sessions as official fights, matches with the fictitious Mung Mung Championship, and a match from a Ukrainian venue that had been permanently closed prior to the event taking place. Having started his UFC career at 22-7, Mozharov had fallen to a 17-12 record despite not yet fighting in the octagon. Fighters padding their records is nothing new. In 1995, Thomas Ramirez competed at UFC 8 claiming to be an unbeaten bare-knuckle fighter, when in fact he was a local taxi driver who had never competed professionally. While MMA legend Rickson Gracie was often criticized over his audacious claim that he was unbeaten in over 400 bouts. No fighter, however, had attempted this deception at the same scale as Mozharov, and as his UFC debut drew ever closer, the fighter was forced to face questions over his dubious record.
A lot of the fights that I had were in China, and the organizations, they don't add fights after, so you have to really pursue it to make sure that they add the fights that you have, so they make sure that you have it on record. This is actually a situation that for the last 7-8 years, no one mentioned anything, no one said anything. Now when I get up to the biggest promotion, I'm in the UFC, I guess someone or one of the admins wants to prove himself or show himself. It's a little bit weird, right?
Given the farcical months prior, Mozharov's fight week was relatively straightforward, with the company moving his match with Menefield to the main card due to fan interest. It was time to see whether the Black Jaguar's bite could match his roar.
This is a smart move, I believe, from Alonzo Menefield to come out, be aggressive, put him on his back foot, and take him down.
Mozharov was outclassed from the very start, taken down almost immediately and being outsmothered by Menefield's wrestling. Although the fighter was able to return to his feet and land his most meaningful shots of the fight. Menefield wasted little time getting the fight back to the mat, and when the prospect got himself into the crucifix position, well, there was only going to be one result.
Oh, that could be the beginning of the end. Alonzo Menefield with a first-round finish.
An ill-tempered trash talk after the fight all but finished Mozharov's tarnished reputation, with Menefield admitting his opponent's pre-fight scandal played a factor in his approach to the fight.
I had all kinds of bad thoughts for him. In this game, you got to put respect on it. These fighters, we fight, we put our lives on the line, and we train. And, this is a choice, and this is what we choose. So I don't know if he's playing games or making this like it's some type of showcase or for media or whatever. But like when you come and fight in the octagon, it's serious.
Mozharov's embarrassment was confirmed a few months later, when he tested positive for a metabolic modulator used to conceal steroid use and was granted a 6-month suspension by USADA, with the UFC releasing him from the promotion soon after. Sherdog, meanwhile, would add the final blow, uncovering further discrepancies in Mozharov's record to bring his record down to 14 wins and 13 losses. Askar Mozharov's story is one of the most curious in recent years. A fighter whose years of lies and deception led to him being showcased on the sport's biggest stage. It's one, however, that comes with many pitfalls, with Mozharov taking the opportunity of a more worthy fighter and the danger of putting someone so outmatched against the elites of the sport. Nevertheless, Mozharov can be seen in some quarters as an inspiration, proof that with luck and self-promotion, you can reach the highest heights despite being woefully unqualified. Hey, maybe he should get a career in politics. This is the INC. We don't falsify our subs, views, or comments, so please like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never, ever miss a genuine, authentic video.